He showed up at my door with a toolbox and the same fake smile he always used. I'm holding the $12,300 check he cashed 2 weeks ago. He thinks I'm here to give him more money. Pause. My name is Alex Carter. I hired Benson Home Pros, the guy who called himself Mark Benson, to gut and redo my kitchen. He gave me a printed quote, $12,300. It said 6 to 8 weeks, materials included. On May 2, 2024, I signed a simple contract and handed him a $3,500 deposit, check number 1057, written to Benson Home Pros. He wrote back, "Thanks, start date June 1st, Mark." My hands were still shaking when I put the check in my drawer. I felt stupid even then. Pause. June 1st came and went. June 5th he texted, "Busy with another job. Start next week, promise." The text stopped after June 9th. On June 12th I gave him the final payment, $8,800, by check because he insisted he needed the second check to order the custom cabinets. That check cleared on June 14th. The bank deposit slip showed a full amount, $12,300. My stomach dropped, but I told myself he was just slow. Pause. On July 1st I went to the house at 7:30 a.m. to find no work done and a half-empty dumpster with someone else's roofing tiles in it. I called Mark. The number was dead. The website bensonhomepros.com went dark. His van was gone. I could feel my pulse in my throat. I called the bank and opened a fraud claim. The bank told me they couldn't release images without a police report, so I made one. Officer Martinez took my statement at 10:05 a.m. He was a tall man with a calm voice who said, "We see this too often. Give us everything you have, Alex." I handed over the contracts, the 2 checks, the text thread and the emails. Pause. The turning point came when the bank sent the ATM deposit footage after Officer Martinez filed for it. The footage had a timestamp, June 14, 2024, 10:12 a.m. A blue Ford Transit pulled up to Harbor Bank, branch 654 to 1139, Harbor Road. A man in a gray hoodie got out, his face half hidden. The camera caught the van's license plate, 7KTR 523. My hands started to shake so hard the photos blurred. Pause. Officer Martinez ran the plate and called it in. It came back to a Luis Morales at 1423, Oakley Avenue, not Mark Benson. The address was a single wide trailer a town over. He didn't look like the licensed contractor on the website. I felt 2 things at once, relief that we had a lead, and a cold burn of anger. I did the thing I told myself I'd never do, I started digging. I made copies of the deposit images and the contract. I posted on the local neighborhood Facebook group, Scammed by Benson Home Pros. Check your texts, saved checks, and photos of vans. Contact me. Within 48 hours, 5 people replied. One message stood out, Jenna Park, 34, 9, Oak Street. She said he was scheduled to start at her place on July 8th. Her deposit was $2,000. She sent me screenshots of the same website, the same logo and the same photo Mark used as his profile. Her throat tightened as she typed, "I don't want to get scammed next. What do we do?" We met at a coffee shop on July 6 with Officer Martinez. He had already secured a search warrant for the trailer at 1423, Oakley Avenue and for a storage unit at Secure Store on Harbor Road, Unit 12B, after a tip from an employee who recognized the van plate. The storage locker turned out to be the gold mine of proof. Inside, in a crate labeled Benson Jobs 2023-24, were stacks of paper, signed contracts, canceled checks, business cards reading Mark Benson, licensed contractor 415-555-0194 and a ledger. The ledger had names, addresses, and dollar amounts next to them. There were 14 names. Totals, $27,850. My chest felt impossibly tight reading that. Pause. What followed was methodical. Officer Martinez told us to be patient. He arranged a sting with Jenna. We couldn't set a trap on our own. He contacted the district attorney. The plan was simple and safe. Let Mark try to collect a deposit from Jenna, let him show up, and let the police arrest him with the evidence from the storage unit and our paperwork. One of the most satisfying things was how calm I felt in the planning stages. Anger turned into focus. We checked boxes, videotape everything, do not confront alone, keep Jenna's money as bait with the police nearby. Pause. July 8, 2024 at 8:45 a.m., Jenna called me. He's on his way, she whispered. I drove over and parked 2 houses down. My palms were damp the whole time. Officer Martinez and 2 uniformed officers were in plain clothes in a pickup across the street. Jenna filmed from inside the house, her hands were shaking too. At 9:12 a.m. the blue Ford Transit rolled up. He got out and walked to Jenna's door. He carried a clipboard. He had the same fake smile as in my texts. He knocked and then knocked again. Jenna opened the door. Hi, I'm Mark Benson. Ready to get started, he said. His voice was oily. Pause. Jenna looked him in the eye and said, Your license number doesn't check out. I called the city. They said they don't have you on file. He faltered. He tried to stall, there's a permit, paperwork is just delayed. I stepped onto the porch, breathing hard. Mark? I said. He looked at me, recognition flickering, then anger. You, he hissed. He took a step back. The officers walked up casually. Sir, you're under arrest for multiple counts of theft by deception, Officer Martinez said. He reached for his handcuffs. Pause. Mark, his real name was Luis Morales, started to yell. You hired me. You signed. I did work. He tried to bolt to his van but one officer blocked him. He shoved the clipboard toward Jenna. Look at their names, they're backlogged, he said. I held the storage unit ledger in my hand like a weapon. Your ledger in Unit 12B has my name on it. My check cleared on June 14th. You cashed it at Harbor Bank. CCTV shows your van's plate. You took money from at least 14 people. The officers patted him down, found other business cards, and seized his phone. Pause. In the aftermath of the arrest we were exhausted, but there was an odd rush of relief. The DA's office charged Luis with multiple counts. The court ordered a seizure of tools and the contents of Unit 12B. Over the next 3 months, the evidence in that storage unit and the bank records were enough for a grand jury to indict him on 3 felony counts of theft by deception and several misdemeanor counts for operating without a license. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts to avoid trial. The judge ordered $22,500 in restitution split among victims and 18 months of probation. It wasn't the full $27,850 that the ledger suggested, but it was something. I got back $9,800. Jenna got her $2,000 back. Other people got partial payments. People asked me why I didn't just let it go or sue in small claims. I did file in small claims as well, but the criminal case was what forced action. Luis couldn't hide when police had his van, his storage unit, his phone, and his ledger. The public evidence scared away any attempt to start up under a new name. The city revoked the fake license he had been showing customers and posted a public notice. I also published a straightforward video with the police report number, the receipts and the contract redacted for privacy. It wasn't flashy. It was careful. The Better Business Bureau put a formal complaint on his old company name. Within weeks, calls to that number showed him ignoring them or getting hung up. Pause. I got part of my money back. I didn't get my kitchen remodeled by a professional who cared. But I did get something else. I made a person who preyed on trust stop. I learned how to check a license, call the city, check permit history, verify insurance, never pay more than 10% upfront, get checks payable to a business name that matches the license, and insist on written permits and timelines. The worst part of the scam wasn't the money. It was the way he turned a small piece of paper, a signed check, into permission to vanish. In court, Luis sat with his head down. When he looked up, I saw no apology that felt real. He muttered, "I'm sorry for what happened to you," but it sounded like a practice line. I left the courtroom feeling hollow in a new way. I had done the right things, police, DA, the sting, but nothing could give me back the weeks I lost. I also felt strangely proud. I didn't let embarrassment keep me quiet. I used the tools available. I organized other victims and I followed paper trails and cameras until the truth showed up on our doorstep. Pause. So here's the hard lesson: if someone tells you a project will cost $12,300 and then disappears with your checks, don't let embarrassment keep you quiet. File that police report. Check ATM footage through the bank with their fraud department. Tell your neighbors. Call your city permits office. Find other victims. And if the police offer to set up a sting with someone else he's about to scam, do it. We caught him by patience and paperwork, not by threats. I slept for the first time in weeks the night the trial ended. I still look at contractors differently now, but I hope this helps someone else not end up like I did. Would you have set up the sting with the police, or would you have handled it another way? Pause.